I need to mount a TV on this wall and I don't have a stud finder, but I'm going to find the studs and I'm going to show you how. First thing, this is a drywalled house. It's a modern house. I know that there's drywall, 1/2 inch drywall. This is an exterior wall. There's going to be 16-inch centers. My studs are going to be on 16-inch centers, and there's insulation between the walls. The first thing I usually do to get started is just do the little knock test. I like to tap my fingers. Some guys like to really pound on the wall and kind of feel where it is. It feels softer in between. I don't think that works. I like to do a nice light tap. What you're listening for is there's going to be a bit more of a hollow sound in between the studs, and as you get close to the stud, it's going to tighten up. Kind of like when you're with the drum, the center is going to be kind of looser sounding and lower sounding. As you get to the outside, it's going to tighten up. That's kind of how this works. So you're just tapping till you find it. I've already found this stud. So that's the first thing I do. Once I kind of figure out, okay, I think there's one there, and I'll measure over 16 inches on center to center, and I'll tap. Sounds like there's one there. Now as you see, I drilled a few holes, and the reason I do that is so that I can find the center of the stud. So even though I know the stud's there, I still want to try and find the center, especially for hanging a TV. You want to have that lag bolt right in the center of that stud. So what I'll do, get a small little drill bit, and you don't have to have it fast, on a low speed. And what you're going to do is you're just going to drill in, and if you have a stud, it's going to kind of stop on the stud. What I've done before is take actually a masonry drill bit with the spade end on it. It doesn't like to go into wood, but it goes into the drywall fine, and you can find a small one, and that works pretty good. And it's also great for not going into plumbing and things like that. So it's great for looking for studs. So you can just use a regular drill bit. I'll start where I think the center is, then work my way over. See, this one missed, so I know that could be the edge of the stud, and then work my way over so I don't get any more stud, and kind of mark it, and I know that's my center. Right? Center mark there. Then I can measure over 16 inches. I've got my mark there, center of the stud, and I can do the same thing if I want to find the center. That's good. Go over about 3/4. That one missed. Work my way over a little bit. So that one's a little bit off. 16 inches, probably just a bit of a bow in the 2x4. So that's usually why I check. Another thing you can look for to check for studs, if you're having trouble doing the knock test and you're drilling and you don't want a whole bunch of extra holes, look for receptacles. So we usually in these new houses and these walls, what they've done is they've screwed their box right onto a stud. So over here you can do your knock test. It sounds more hollow and it gets more solid there. Nice and solid, hollow, solid. So it means that the stud's probably on this side. You can measure over 16. Usually when you see something like this, they've put a stud down the middle. Again, hollow, solid, hollow. I don't know if you can see this in the right light, but there's some screw pops. There's one there, one there, one there. So there's screw pops, so it usually means that there's a stud there. So you can measure over 16 inch, 32 inch from those spots and level up to where you need it. Again, in here it's probably solid. If you want to double check with the drill and you don't want to make a bunch of holes, take your small drill bit, and I can see screw pops there, so I can take my small drill bit. Oh, I missed. Right there. That one there. And then what I can do, I can just cock it, and you're all good. All we need to do is take our level from that point there and level up. You can run a real strong magnet, and then you might, if you run it along, kind of work your way along with the magnet, you can find some of the screw heads and you just mark those and find where your studs are. That usually works good. That's how you find a stud without a stud finder. It's pretty simple once you've done it a couple times and you understand how a house is built. If I get into a plaster house soon, I will show you how to find one in there. It's a lot more tricky to find it in a plaster house. So if you got an old house, sorry. So we'll get to that one later. But this is for drywall. It's pretty simple. If you got any questions, just leave them below. Thanks for watching.